Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with the Deacons. You're on Trinity TV, and it's wonderful to have you this morning. The weeks flying by. Somebody told me today is today the 25th? Really? I can't believe it. 1 month away from Christmas. Wow! And this is my time of the year. And Uncle D loves Christmas. That's why you notice my iPad. You notice the cover for my iPad. It's red. I wanted to wear a green shirt this morning, but I just got up too late. But anyway, welcome on board. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful show this morning. I have an incredible guest, somebody who I admire so much, and I've always admired her while she was in Living Water Community. So we're going to talk about her. I'm going to introduce her in a little while, right? But Uncle Derek likes to start with anything dealing with Papa Francis. And so we want to start this morning with Papa Francis. And I want you all to hear this. This is Papa Francis, because it kind of gives us a little theme today, where Papa Francis wants your heart today. And he's addressing the European Union today. Isn't that amazing? Papa Francis addressing the European Union. I wish I was listening to it right now. But let me tell you what he says for us today. He says, if investments in banks fall, it is a tragedy. And people say, what are we going to do? But if people die of hunger, have nothing to eat, or suffer from poor health, that's nothing. Kind of tells us sometimes where our priority is. If people suffer and die of hunger, have nothing to eat, or suffer from poor health, that's nothing. But if banks fail or fall, it's a tragedy. How do you feel about that statement this morning? I want everybody to sort of wrap that around your minds, because everybody's watching Uncle Derek on television this morning, right? You're watching us on cable, or you're watching us on the internet, right? We don't broadcast via radio, so it's not free. So what you're paying to watch Breakfast with the Deacons this morning, and I want to thank you for that. Because you've made that choice to pay for cable TV, and you've made that choice today to watch Breakfast with the Deacons. I love you all. I was in New Grant this weekend, and it was amazing. We talked about Papa Francis and the joy of the gospel, and his call for us in this beautiful joy of the gospel, right? And one of his calls in the joy of the gospel is he says, I want a poor church for the poor. He wants all of us to reach out with the abundant blessings that he's given to all of us, and to just give back a little bit. And for me today, I've got Gillian, a member of Living Water Community, just like myself, a member for umpteen years. Don't even bother to ask. I'm not aging you. Welcome, Gillian, to Breakfast with the Deacons. And oh gosh, she's wearing red this morning. So she's in the whole Christmas spirit. And just in the background there, if the cameraman can pick it up, we've got our Christmas tree. But it's not just an ordinary Christmas tree. It's a special Christmas tree. And Gillian is here to tell us all about it. Now, Gillian is involved in ministry, from administration all the way down to putting our hands in Jesus' side and touching him and blessing him and healing him. Gillian is involved in so many things in ministry, as all beautiful women are. I heard an incredible thing at the women's conference a couple weeks ago, and this beautiful woman said that a priest said this, and it remained with me. There is no greater power in the whole universe than a woman in love with Jesus. Wow! There is no greater power in the universe than a woman in love with Jesus. And you're in love with Jesus.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise
Great. It's great to have you on board. Gillian, just tell us, just tell me how you got involved in Living Water Community.
How did I get in? About 27 years ago, 28 years ago, I went to a talk at what is now Big Church, Promenade Church in San Fernando, and there was a priest visiting from Medjugorje at the time. And he said Our Lady really wanted people to get into groups, prayer groups, form prayer groups, prayer communities. And even though the church was packed, I thought this gentleman was speaking directly to me.
Right.
It was as if message was delivered to me. And I went home and I called a friend. I said, I know you go up the hill somewhere in San Fernando and you have a prayer group up there. And I'd love, I think Mary's asking me to get into a prayer group. So she said, of course, come. We're actually having a seminar on at the moment.
Yeah.
So I went up there, and actually it was a Life and Spirit seminar. And you know what that does to our life. Huh? That changes us around in direction and sends us another way.
Yeah.
And after about a couple of weeks, I suddenly dawned on me. I said, but you all are charismatics.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. He said, but I didn't think I liked charismatics. What my vision of what a charismatic was, my wrong vision.
Yeah.
But by then, hook, line, and sinker. Line and sinker. And in those days, you were actually Nazareth House. You were not Living Water.
Right.
So when Living Water came down in 1987, I think it was, and we became part of Living Water, I was one of the first ones that made covenant with them.
Fantastic.
Along with all the other beautiful women. You talk about women in love with Jesus, powerful women. I have been so blessed with the women that I have met at Nazareth House and in Port of Spain. Just women who have laid down their life for the Lord.
Yes.
And they really are amazing mentors to me. They're just the saints in my life. And without them, I sure would not be sitting here next to you.
Without Mary, none of us would be sitting here. Powerful woman. Woman, there's no... I want you all to remember that. There is no greater power in the universe than a woman in love with Jesus. Oh my goodness! And I know it's only women watching me outside here. I have a couple men. For all the men outside there, we are strong too, right?
Absolutely.
When we're in love with Jesus. But the thing is that we all know when women love a man, they give that man everything, and therefore that's why they say when women are in love with Jesus, there's no greater power, because Jesus empowers them to do amazing things
and to love all those around them even a little bit more.
And we're here to talk about, I know you're involved in ministry. You're involved in ministry to the poor. I know that she's the assistant accountant. Would you believe that? And you do so many things in Living Water community.
Praise God.
But what we're going to be talking about today is our ministry really to the poor.
To the poor.
And to the poor at Christmas, because it's a special time for us.
Yes, it's a special time.
Our little saint, Archbishop Anthony Pantin, started something years ago, which Living Water community continues to do. And that's look after his poor, his little family.
Yes.
You want to tell us what it is? Tell the viewers outside there what Living Water continues to do on behalf of Saint Anthony Pantin.
Praise God. Well, I wouldn't say I'm actually deeply involved in poor ministry here right now, but we do continue. We have a food bank here, as I'm sure you all know, and we feed families. I don't know the exact figure. Every day people come, they get a food bag, they get clothing, they get counseling, they get prayer time. We have a great ministry to the needy. But at Christmas time, what I wanted to talk about today was on Christmas Day as a community, we have the privilege of feeding 2,500 people a Christmas lunch.
2,500 people on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day.
You don't do it on Boxing Day. We come out on Christmas Day. We leave our homes. We leave our children. We bring the children along.
When I can. I'm not always here on Christmas Day. I try to be here. And there's tables put out, there's chairs, there's everything, tablecloths, the whole work. It's a Christmas lunch.
A Christmas lunch?
Christmas lunch.
You're not just giving them bread and cheese?
No, it's ham and turkey.
Ham and turkey?
Yes. It's Christmas lunch. Isn't that what you have for Christmas lunch?
Well, I don't eat meat. But
you don't eat meat, so you have it whatever.
I have cheese and bread. And sweet bread, auntie bags, sweet bread. Right.
No, it's a real Christmas lunch, and it's served by the beautiful people who do come down here on Christmas morning. As you say, people leave their families and everything, and they come here, or they bring their families and they partake in the serving of this lunch. But that's not possible for everybody. I find it difficult if I'm having 60 people for lunch at home, to leave home. So how else can we get involved on Christmas morning? So this idea has come up called the Christmas Lunch and Gift Bag Project.
Right.
Or was launched on Sunday, 23rd. And this is basically what we did. We worked out the cost of a lunch. So say it's $40 to feed a person on Christmas morning. So for those who want to be part of it but physically cannot necessarily be here, we thought, okay, they could buy a lunch.
So you can buy a lunch.
Buy a lunch for somebody to be fed on Christmas Day.
Right.
So for $40, what you actually do is buy one of our Christmas decorations,
Right.
which you then sign. So this is your gift to somebody else.
Okay.
It says
okay.
Merry Christmas, Living Water Community from. So you put Derek here.
Right. Okay. And how much is a lunch?
$40.
You've got to be joking. You cannot buy a Christmas lunch for $40.
And a gift bag, and a little goodies bag.
And a gift bag
Yes,
that
a
goes
little
with
goodies
it.
bag.
So they get a present and they get a
You
lunch.
get, yeah. Well,
A present and lunch, and we're asking you all to give just $40, and they get in ham. And what they get in? And turkey.
And I'm not sure
And they
the
get
rest of it.
pastel.
I'm sure.
They get in ham, turkey, pastel. You know, you'll get your normal rice that you would get on a Christmas day.
Yeah,
Listen,
macaroni.
this is real Christmas. You cannot give a better gift, than buying lunch for somebody and a gift bag for Christmas with a donation of $40 per person. I know that some of you can give $40, but some of you can give even more than $40. How about buying? How about supporting Living Water Community? I don't even want to say buying, but how about supporting? How about sponsoring somebody?
participating with us. And what we'd like people to do is actually, well, you saw the tree in the background.
Right.
It's when you purchase one of these,
Yeah.
and you write your name, this then is what is on the tree as our decorations. This goes on our tree with your name on it. This project is going to run until the 23rd, 24th. Well, we have a target figure. I don't know if you can pick that
Okay.
up on the wall too.
Okay.
2,500. I think we're now at
Right.
2120. We're on a countdown.
Wait. So we have 2120
Remaining.
more to go.
Yeah.
So we've got 2,120 more lunches to go. And we want you to sponsor some lunches.
And then we'll take this off. This is actually a sticker. So your decoration is then peeled off before Christmas Day and stuck onto a box.
Wow.
So this then becomes where the lunch will be packed into. So, yes, it's giving and yes, it's donating, but it's participating. It's being part of. It's, as you just read about what Pope Francis said.
Yeah.
If banks collapse, it's terrible. But if people are not fed, nobody takes on. Well, we can't sit there and say that.
Yeah.
People have to be fed, and they have to be fed on Christmas Day.
And we feed 2,500 people. I want you all to understand the enormity of that. I mean, you might have your Christmas lunches at home and so on, and you might have families. I heard Gillian saying 60 people at her home. She must have plenty to run. But anyway, I mean, even in my home, I mean, my mother has 33 grandchildren.
Wow.
And she's got 7 children. And then, daddy and mommy, adopted 7 more. So, I mean, we have
You have a lot of family.
plenty family. And you know what it is like to cook for so many, You can imagine what it is like to be able to feed 2,500 people. Now, Jesus fed 5,000 men, not counting women and children, with 5 loaves and 2 fish. We want you to bring those loaves and fish to us so that we can feed Jesus's poor, okay? And it's only going to cost you $40 to sponsor just one meal, okay? How about buying 2, 3, 4, what about 5 and supporting us? Put your names on, call Living Water Community, pledge, come down the road, and just give your name. Say, okay, my name is Margarita Chapman. I stick in here there, Auntie Mags, and I am going to be sponsoring a lunch for somebody who's going to come on Christmas Day. Remember, it's something that we're doing since Archbishop Anthony Panton days.
Yes, absolutely. And I think where this is important is if you have younger children at home, I think they might not understand if you just say, well, here's $40, we're going to feed a family. But
Right.
let them come.
Oh,
Let
gosh,
them write their name. Let them hang it on the tree. All this is important for them to understand.
Wow.
Where this is going.
No. I love
because
that.
$40 just giving it, that is not going to impact on a 6-year-old. But I think coming and hanging it on the tree and explaining to them what it's all about. Then on Christmas Day, when they sit and with you, you can say, oh gosh, just think of somebody down at the center, Living Water Community, is now opening your gift.
Yeah.
You have, that you have given to them.
Yeah.
So the whole Christmas spirit, I think, is what we're trying to bring into full here.
Women are amazing. I mean, my wife is an amazing
That
woman.
we know,
I mean, just to have me as a husband, she had to be an amazing woman. And I remember my children growing up, she did something that was kind of outrageous. I want to say it was outrageous. She told them that for Christmas, they were only going to get one gift. one gift. So there weren't going to be these piles of gifts that you give to your children. She says, I'm going to give you one gift. And then I want you to choose something that you would like for yourself. And mommy and daddy are going to buy that for the poor.
Okay.
And that's what
Wow.
they did.
Wow.
You know, so it was, they got one gift, and then something that they liked for their own self, mommy and daddy would buy that and give it to the
Yeah.
poor. And that was amazing, and she taught them that ever since they were
Wonderful
children.
lesson, yeah.
You know, and that kind of blew me away because I wasn't doing that at all. You know me? The more presents that Uncle Derek could get, the better. And here comes this woman in my life and saying, that's not going to happen.
not gonna
So, you know, I only get one present for Christmas from my wife. You know?
And you have to choose another one.
And I have to choose another one to give to the poor. Camille, what?
He's begging here, Camille.
No, but it's good.
It is
you
very
know.
good. It's a wonderful lesson she taught your
Yeah,
children that,
yeah,
that
yeah.
year,
That was
which I'm sure has stayed with them.
Stayed with them, yeah.
And hopefully they'll teach their children that lesson.
No, and that's it's. I think so. I mean, my kids, two of my kids work with cancer,
Yeah.
with cancer people, but people who suffer with cancer. One, my son works with those who suffer with AIDS,
Okay.
and my little daughter is a member of Living Water
Yeah.
Community, and it's because of my wife. Nothing to do with this crazy man.
A woman in love with the Lord.
A woman in love with the Lord is the
Powerful.
most powerful force in the universe. And we know that there are a lot of beautiful women outside there in love with the Lord. And we want to challenge you. Challenge your husbands as my wife challenged me to give more. You know, we men like to hog and hold on to things, you know, and they teach us because women have that special gift.
They do. They do.
It's a gift of giving. I mean, they give of themselves to bring into the universe children.
Yep.
They give of themselves to look after their husbands, as bad as we are, you know, and they give of themselves to keep homes and families
Yeah.
together. I don't know how you all do it, you know.
Only the grace of God is
By
all
the
I could
grace of
say, by
God.
the grace of God. But there are wonderful men out there too. I wouldn't put you all
Oh,
down
my
totally.
goodness.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God, you know.
And what I should say too is our table behind us where you saw the Christmas tree and the decorations, that opens from early in the morning when we open for breakfast.
Right.
So if you want to come and actually be there when somebody's at the table, it's from 6:30 in the morning until we close at 4 in the afternoon.
Right. So we open
And
from 6:30
for breakfast.
for breakfast till 4 o'clock in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
except Wednesday when we close at 3 for prayer
Yes,
meeting.
Right, we close at 3 up and then Saturdays up till what
After
time?
Mass,
Right.
we'll have the table there. You can
You'll have
come
the
down
table
and
there.
purchase.
Okay.
And Sunday, Sundays after Mass.
And Sunday
too.
after Mass. Listen, why not come down?
I think so. I think it's important.
Come
Yeah,
down.
if you could come.
It's, you know, we want you to pledge, and you can pledge over the phones and say, well, okay, I would like to give, you know, lunch, you know, on Christmas Day for somebody. But it would be so nice for you to come down to Living Water Community if you can. We've got a fabulous car park. We have 2 car parks actually, so you can come and park, you know, and just come in and say, I saw this on Breakfast with the Deacons. I saw this incredible woman who loves the Lord, so therefore she's a powerful force. And she says, come and give back to Jesus. Come and feed one of... Actually, you know what it is? Jesus says, whatever you do to the least of my brothers in Matthew's Gospel 25, that you do unto me. So that you know what you're doing? You're actually giving Jesus a Christmas lunch. Isn't that
Absolutely.
amazing? You're telling Jesus, come Jesus, you fed the 5,000, we want to feed you now.
And you know what, Derek? Same thing with the feeding of the 5,000 that you brought up there. When people gave of what they had to feed the 5,000, they were not hungry. Huh? When you think they gave, and out of that he fed everybody, but they were not hungry. He also fed them as well.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. When you give, remember
Right.
Jesus continues to feed us as well.
And you know, the giving, what happened? Jesus blessed it, and there were 12 baskets remaining.
That's
12
it.
baskets. So by you giving, you know, not only are we blessed because that's a natural Jesus law, you know, but guess what? We will have enough to feed even more. And you know, we don't stop people from coming.
No.
So even though we have 2,500 and that's our target, who knows? Maybe we'll have 2,600 people here, you know, and we can't.
They won't
Jesus
turn away.
never turns away anybody. And the same thing happens here.
Yeah.
We don't turn away anybody. So, you know, we've got 2,120 more lunches I merely said breakfasts. Oh, God, Lord, they want to kill me, right? We have 2,120 more lunches to go. We want you all to please come in. Just come in and just say, I want to. And just like my own children and Camille, saying, no, you're going to choose that present, and guess what? You're going to give it to the poor. How about doing that? Let your children come down, your grandchildren come down. Yes, they're turning me between right and left camera. Come on down. We started when? Saturday?
We started on Sunday. We launched it on Sunday.
We launched it on Sunday.
And we will run it up until just before Christmas.
Yeah.
In time for us to peel off and stick these on. And I mean, don't worry, if there's a little extra, we also, remember, have a Christmas party to our underprivileged children as well on December the 6th.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a lot of goodies and toys, and everybody gets a present, and Santa Claus. And
Yeah.
So, but we're really aiming for this project because we know that people in their hearts want to be part of this. And maybe this is a way they could be part of it.
Yeah, this is a beautiful
participating, in our Christmas lunch.
Yeah. So Living Water Community has been doing this. I know that when His Grace was alive, he used to have lunch at his home for these people. Yeah, at his Archbishop's house for 2,000 plus people, right? And with the passing of Archbishop Anthony Panton, Living Water Community just took it over, and they continued his beautiful tradition of giving to the poor. Listen, I only hope everybody prays. We've been praying, we have a prayer out for Archbishop Anthony Panton, that Almighty God would just, for this cause of elevation to sainthood. Now we know he's already a saint there, so but we want to have our first Caribbean saint, and it's the first time that we're proposing anybody for sainthood.
It's awesome.
It is absolutely awesome. From this beautiful country called the Trinity, we've got a beautiful, beautiful somebody. We've got a beautiful man in heaven, just interceding for us. So please, I want you all to pray every day. As you pray every day with your families, your husbands, your wives, your children, pray for the cause of Archbishop Anthony Panton, okay? And this is one of the things that we are doing as a Living Water Community, to continue with his memory, his tradition of feeding the poor.
Very much so. Similar man in a way to Pope Francis, as you were sharing too. His love for the poor and his simplicity and his family. I mean, the family values Archbishop Panton instilled in everybody.
When he died, some of the very poor of our nation says, our father died.
Our father.
Our father died. I'm going to tell you all a little truth here, that a homeless man told Uncle Derek, and this homeless man told me, he says, we used to go by Archbishop Anthony Panton's home and wait for him to come home, and he would feed us dinner. And sometimes these guys would hang around until 10 o'clock at night. He might have been driving his little Volkswagen coming down the road, his little vehicle, and he would be coming home late at night, and he might have been coming home from confirmation, the blessing or the consecration of a church, maybe saying Holy Mass, maybe it was confirmation and a little lime after, and he loved to tell jokes. And he would come home and he would be tired. And these homeless people, it blew my mind.
Right,
He said he would never turn them back. He would never turn them back. And they would be hungry, and he would go into his kitchen and prepare food for them.
And they knew that. They trusted in him. They knew that. And that's why they waited there.
Thank God he didn't have a wife. She would not have put him out. She would have invited more. Mercy. But that's the kind of person, and that's the tradition that we're doing. That's the tradition we're continuing.
Absolutely.
Gillian, so are we cooking everything here at Living Water Community?
Yes, everything is prepared here.
So we're going to be doing all the cooking, all the preparing here.
And then everything is boxed on the day, Christmas Day itself.
Right, okay, good. And then we're going to be... So actually, something? We want to invite you to. Why not come down to help with the serving of lunch on Christmas Day? Do you have the time? Do you think you can run away at lunchtime? I know some families have, I'm not going to use the word, I'm going to use the word breakfast. They have breakfast with their families. They may have dinner with their families, right? what about if you've got a little time? Why not come down and help us serve the poor?
Or if you can't come at that time, you could always come early and help.
Yeah,
We have to
help
box.
us. Right.
2,500 lunches have to be boxed.
Help us, put out 2,500 lunches. That's a lot. And we'd love you to come down. That's a wonderful way of giving too. Now,
Absolutely.
we are 1 month away from that beautiful day. 1 month away. Today, on Breakfast with the Deacons, you heard the good news. The good news was Jesus has asked us to give to the poor, to be poor for the poor, to reach out, to be that his hands. To continue with this beautiful tradition that started with Archbishop Anthony Pantin, the Living Water community continues to give. Please come on down, right? Sponsor a lunch for somebody. And on Christmas Day, if you can come and help us, you can come before 12 o'clock if you're having lunch with your family and help us prepare. We're going to be laying tables, putting Christmas decorations on the tables, making sorrel and ginger beer and all these things. Yes, they get everything that you get on Christmas Day because it is Jesus, right? And it is Jesus that we are serving.
And a hug on Christmas Day is also very important.
God,
So
come in.
if you just want to come and
Yes.
hug a few people, it's all that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Touch people, touch them where they are.
It's an amazing thing that we do at Living Water Community, especially for reaching out for the poor. And Trinity TV is going to be live on that beautiful day, just broadcasting the good news. The good news is Jesus is present. Emmanuel, God is with us. Emmanuel, God is with us.
Amen.
And he is with us in the poor. And he wants you to come and touch him and reach out to him.
And what a day to do it, it's a day we should be so present to people, Jesus. We have to bring Jesus to people at all times, we know that, but Christmas Day, surely that's the day of all days when we should be reaching out to people in need.
Give love on the Christmas Day. I can't remember the rest of the words, but I would
And
love
I can't
to
sing, so I'm not doing it.
You can't sing?
No, not at all.
Listen, anytime I sing, the choir tells me, Derek, psh,
Exactly.
Derek, mime, what's this thing these young people do? I can't remember. What Andrew, what it is they do? You go to these
Like
karaoke. They say, Derek, we only want to see your lips going because they say that I am so out of tune that when I sing next to the choir and the band, it sends everybody off.
Off key.
It's not my gift, right?
Praise
So,
God.
but give love on Christmas Day. We want to invite you to come on down. This is Breakfast with the Deacons. I know it's the #1 breakfast show in the morning, and because we've got that, Gillian, you have any last things you want to tell anybody outside there?
I just thank them all very much for tuning in to Breakfast with the Deacons, because I know his show is extremely popular.
Hey, it's Jesus.
It's
He's the one who's
Jesus'
popular.
show. I thank Derek for allowing me to come on here this morning and to share this with you all, and I really hope that God will touch your hearts, and we'll see more and more of you coming down here to purchase a lunch for somebody in need and be part of, the whole thing of writing your name, hanging it on the tree. If you can't do that, as Derek said, sure, call in and we'll accommodate you however we can.
Yeah, great. And there's just a couple of people I want to shout out. All my girls in New Grant. I love you all. It was wonderful. Thank you, sister, for inviting me to come and share the good news of the gospel, the joy of the gospel with you all. So, New Grant, I love all you. Right. Alistair James, I love you. Ava Moses from Sandy Grande, Jennifer from Pointe-a-Pierre, Jerina G, all the way from Miami, she watches this show, right? Sita from Point Fortin, Joyce Pereira, Muriel Branca, Arthur Stephen from St. John's, Sherry Ann Timothy, and all the wonderful people, and I know there are a million people outside there. Thank you for watching Breakfast with the Deacons. Sponsor a lunch for Christmas and come on down, right? We want to see you. Come on, and let your children and grandchildren come and sponsor one. Teach them now how to love. This is Breakfast with Deacons, Deacon Derek. Love you all. Mwah. Merry Christmas.